Hello and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus. I am your host, Jacob Brothers, and joining me, as always, is the wonderful Erica Sadora. Erica, how do you fare today?
I am faring quite well, Sir Jacob. How do you fare today?
I too fare well, but what fares quite better is our show. This week in the queue, we have Riot Games supporting Collegiate Valorant. We have eNascar College iRacing Series explanation. We have our infamous preview review. And last but not least, we're talking about NC State's new esports facility. All coming up in this week of Checkpoint on Campus. Let's have a show. Hello and welcome back to Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Brothers is still here. Erica Sadora is still there. We are joined by a new friend of the show. We are joined by Jack Bridges, Valorant extraordinaire. Jack, thank you for coming on to the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Very excited to get to work on some Valorant content.
Yes, sir. Speaking of, it looks like Valorant content is about to be going a lot better for Collegiate as Riot Games is now supporting them. So, what can you tell? I know that they haven't gone into detail yet, but what have they gone into so far?
Yeah, so Riot Games came out February 15th, a week ago, to announce that they are officially contributing to Collegiate Valorant. So basically, the Riot Scholastic Association of America, or RSAA, have been officially partnered with Riot Games North America. Now, the RSAA have been running high school and collegiate League of Legends for some time now, and Riot Games North America obviously handles the professional esports scene for Riot Games, such as Valorant and League of Legends. So they are officially getting some support from Riot, which has taken some time. As we've seen that it's happening for a goal of fall 2022. So that's what they came out with. The RSAA feels confident that they can cater to students, universities, and colleges alike because they have employed a board of advisors of individuals who are well versed in the education sector. So they feel like they can bring the necessary things to the table for those people because they got the advice from them directly. And since this did just get announced, they only really gave us two leads of information for what this infrastructure is going to look like. The first is being that it is not going to look not much like college League of Legends because fundamentally they're different games. And the second thing is that it's going to follow their three pillars, which are students first, long-term stability, and competitive integrity. And while that doesn't give us a lot of information about what this ecosystem is going to look like, it tells us what they want to prioritize when moving forward. And like I said earlier, the launch time is fall 2022. So they have about 6 to 7 months before that semester starts to get rolling. And they chose this time too, not only for themselves, but for colleges and universities to have plenty of time to get their Valorant programs together in preparation for this momentous occasion. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you're relatively new to Collegiate Valorant. How would you summarize what you've seen so far? Like how would you, if you were explaining Collegiate Valorant to someone, how would you go, how would you describe it?
I would say, from what I've seen personally, and this is pretty amateur perspective, but I would say I'm going to link it to basketball too because I'm a fan of that as well. It's like all these leagues that are Collegiate Valorant are kind of like these smaller leagues, and this is going to be the NBA of college Valorant. Like there are these other professional leagues where people can play, and it seems like they're licensed by Valorant, Riot Games, and all that. But this is going to be like the NBA, to where it's like we actually come here and can enjoy this and see it for what it is, rather than having to find our own sources of content. Because before it was just kind of having to find anything, and now
Yeah.
you have one-stop shop to go to. So it's really nice change.
Yeah, a lot of esports love to be hard to find in the collegiate realm.
Yeah,
Erica,
no,
you are a fan of Valorant. Now that Riot Games is supporting it, what would you like to see? Like what is the improvement that you would like to see happen to the space?
It's so hard to improve something that's already so good. If you've ever tuned into the Pacific Gauntlet or the Red Bull Valorant tournaments where these collegiate teams go freaking crazy, it's the teams itself, I feel like they can always improve to an extent because they're already really scary. If you've yeah, I keep thinking back to the Red Bull because those kids are scary. But Riot is really great at providing feedback and explaining feedback to their players. We see it all the time in the collegiate scene for League of Legends, where they are constantly changing rosters, they're constantly changing policies to fit what the students need. So I'm kind of excited that we have the kitty in the back as well, but
She's
I'm really
excited.
excited. I'm really excited for Valorant to finally join the Scholastic scene in Riot because there's only so much we can like go up for.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think for me, I'm just excited for there to be a go-to spot for Valorant. Because there's been a bunch of times where it's like, oh, let me just see what's going on in Valorant. And I spend 2 hours just digging. and then
Yeah.
ultimately find nothing, and then some random tweet comes out that randomly has a bracket. That's how I quite literally found the current ongoing Valorant tournament. So it'll be great. It is an esport that I think is in the best position to grow. I think it could very easily be like Rocket League, to where, because Rocket League's doing it all right, and we're seeing it. We see it in the viewership, we see it in the execution. And I think that Valorant is popular enough to get to that level, and now that Riot Games is supporting it, I think that we can get there. But only time will tell. And Jack, so thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you walking us through that. And coming up next, we're going to be talking about some eNascar after this. Welcome back once again. Checkpoint XP still going on. Your two favorite hosts are still here at our metaphorical desk. But one thing that is here for the first time is NASCAR. Actually, let me properly say the title: the eNascar College iRacing Series. NASCAR is now teamed up with NACE for NASCAR eSports. That is not something I ever thought that I would say. And we just talked about Ball State with actually it was tied into this eNascar series. And yeah, let's walk through it. So it's open to 500 colleges. And all 500 colleges are playing for a chance of $50,000 of scholarships broken up throughout the season. Up to 10,000 drivers, and 40 of those racers who are at the top of the qualifiers will move on. So a lot of players, which I didn't even know that there would be 10,000 players for a NASCAR video game, but I love to hear it. And they're going to be using the iRacing platform to compete with using the NASCAR campaign World Truck Series vehicles. But one of my favorite things is that each racer will have their schools branded on their car, which makes sense because in NASCAR, that's how it is. Every car is themed after one of their sponsors. So for a car to be themed in a sponsor kind of design for their own school is actually like the coolest thing ever. The season is going to consist of 3 races throughout the spring, and it's going to be a time attack, which is interesting. So participants are welcome from right now until February 21st for the Daytona time attack. And then on March 7th to the March 21st, people can play in the Charlotte time attack. And in April, from April 10th to the 24th, players can participate in the Watkins Glen time attack. And so, yeah, so these 3 races will be happening in time attack. And I assume people will be using the super fancy car racing setup and not just like an Xbox controller. I don't know what to think. I'm really interested. Erica, what do you think about all this? What are your thoughts and feelings on eNascar?
I'm honestly excited to see these cars decked out. I keep thinking about Lightning McQueen and how he had like super cool like flames, or you know how like Cars 2, they were talking to the European drivers, and I was like, these cars look cool. Out of topic, but I'm excited to see the customization of it. I think it's really great for schools to be so prideful to the point where they're like decking out their cars. But I'm also excited to see how this like new iRacing thing works, because I like the classic Xbox controller, but I feel like since we're moving into a more technological side of esports these days, it'll be a good test run. No pun intended.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because like when it comes to esports arenas, like I've never thought about the whole racing setup, because like Ball State had it because we talked about it last week. And I was like, oh, that must be a rare thing. But if we're going to be able to have this many people playing in NASCAR, then I guess it's more of a thing. I also can't wait to see highlights where it's like, yeah, he took that turn really sharp. And it's like, yeah, it'll be a spectacle, and I can't wait.
Driving. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right. But time will only tell. So yeah, so all of this is beginning now. So it'll be running roughly from February to April. So if you're into it, check it out. If you want to compete, sign up. And I cannot wait to look into that. But coming up next is our preview review, coming up right after this.
Welcome to this week's preview review. I'm Erica, this is Jacob, this is a Squishmallow, and today I am going to be talking about the 2022 Winter Championships hosted by Nerd Street. This is actually an event that's been going on since 2019, and there are several game titles that are included, but most importantly, League is included. We actually have some phenomenal teams. Of course, Maryville played, but honestly, there's a lot of contenders that's going on, because when I say it's scary, that's like past like the whole like, oh, mechanical skills, but UC Irvine was deadly this game. So congratulations to UC Irvine for winning the entire championships in the League category. When I see UC Irvine, I always see a team that knows how to communicate, and when a team knows how to communicate, you can really tell. If you guys ever get the chance, please watch their collapses in every single game they're featured in. Terrifying. Genuinely terrifying. And back to our conferences, which are finally rounding up. We have our northern friends starting up a riot because Maryville, SLU, UHSP, Washington U, and Fontbonne eSports are battling for the Northern title. As we know, Maryville is a killer and they are terrifying because they have a clean slate, a very clean record, and they actually went 2-0 against ISU, whereas on the same merit, SLU has actually been dominating because they have 19 straight wins. And for our Peach Belt friends, we have the Mocs finally winning their game, and I'm so excited. They went 2-0 against Lander, and the rest of the results are coming in. But if you guys ever get the chance to watch these collegiate teams play, and when they're streamed on their collegiate Twitch channel, please, please. Otherwise, all of these games are streamed on Unified Live.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Erica. And then coming up next, you know it, you love it, I love it even more. It is Halo, Collegiate Halo. It's popping off. We are in our second week of play, and my favorite thing so far is that the schools that are undefeated are not really the normal ones. So let me run you through them really quick. So the undefeated teams currently is the University of Tennessee Knoxville, Full Sail University, UONA Dragons, Arizona State, University of Illinois, University of Mount Union, Michigan State Esports, Buckeye Gaming Esports, Rutgers Esports, University of Bridgeport, Utah Valley Esports, and last but not least, New Mexico State. Those teams are all 4-0, and the majority of those teams you do not hear about very much. And I love that in collegiate esports when new teams get the spotlight. They're playing great, they're rotating great. It is honestly one of the best esports to watch. And all of those matches happen on Tuesday starting at 5 p.m. Central Time, and you got to check it out. It is certified heat. Now, for the rest of the esports going on this week, here are our interns.
Hello, my name is Vanessa, and I'm here to give you all the up-to-date Collegiate Smash information you need to know. We are in round 5 of the NAC E-Star League, and round 4 last week had some awesome matches, especially within the conferences. UT Dallas played UT Austin, and Austin took the win. Nice matchup within the Midwest Conference with these teams doing really well at the top. We also had Michigan State go against Northern University. Northern University did not win this game. Michigan State takes another win, and they're staying undefeated once again. Both of these teams are doing very well in their conference, with Michigan State being number 1, Oakland University being number 2, and our homies at Northwood being at number 3. So lots of powerful teams there. We also saw Lebanon Valley win both of their games. Their blue team won against St. Lawrence, and their gray team won against New Hampshire, so congratulations to them. And then Bay State faced off against Fanshawe College, and Bay State took the win there. So now we're in round 5, and we have some awesome matches to look forward to. Definitely got Mizzou State versus University of Houston. We're going to see who wins there. 2 undefeated teams and lots of undefeated teams going against each other, with Lebanon Valley going against Bay State. So we're going to see who takes the win there. Another one, Alini Smash is going against Buena Vista Navy, and Alini Smash has been undefeated so far, and they did extremely well in past seasons. So we're going to see if they take another win there. If you were trying to tune into the matches, they are held every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Pacific Time. So tune in for those, and that's what I got for you on Smash. Stay tuned for more.
Spring 2022 of CRL has began, and it's been an amazing start. Being over with week 1 of league play, so many teams have competed. It's been so good, especially with 4 more weeks of league play before the top teams proceed into the playoffs. Teams are giving it their all from all across the nation to move on, of course. So for the Eastern Conference, we got Lancer Gaming, University of Alabama, King Tornado, St. Clair Saints Green, West Virginia University, Syracuse Orange, UCF Academy, and at the top with 401 points, Penn State Blue. I didn't see that coming. And from the Western Conference, we got Texas H&M, Tulsa eSports, WWU Blue, Long Beach, UCSD Blue. We got Texas Longhorns, UT Dallas, and at the top, joining Penn State Blue with also 401 points, Boise State Orange. This is going to be such an amazing league play. Teams that I've never seen be on the leaderboard before, and we'll see what happens.
Riot Games, development team known for creating Valorant and League of Legends, launched a brand new website and released a new and improved logo. They experimented with a new form of typography to make a more clean and modern design. What do you think? Personally, my graphic design heart appreciates the cleaner logo, but still, I do appreciate the blocky font shown in the older logo. As for Riot Games' new website, the content will feature updates on their games and discuss corporate news and information. The name of the website has not been released yet, but will be launching sometime this year, so stay tuned.
Hey everybody, it's Jack Bridges and welcome to your weekly Valorant preview review. So since this is our first time doing it, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown about what I'm covering. So we have Ultimate Gaming Championship, or UGC's Battle Academy Winter Saga, which is their host of competitive collegiate Valorant tournaments in which colleges and universities compete in 3 weeks of single elimination qualifiers in East and West regions. Teams with the most points at the end of the saga are entered into the championships. Open qualifiers for Collegiate Valorant are February 9th to the 24th, so sorry that I'm a bit late. You probably have missed open qualifiers at this point, but last chance qualifiers are March 5th and championships are March 9th through the 13th, so you do still have some time. West Region games are played Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and East Region games are played Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So these tournaments are decided in 2 days, so I have a lot of matches to cover, so I'm just going to kind of rep them off. There are 16 teams. So for Wednesday's matches, we have UH Premier over Rebel Gaming Black, TAMU White over UH Alpha, SJSU Gold over UH Pristine, University of Oregon over MNSU, TAMU Maroon over UH Virtuous, CU Boulder over University of Hawaii, USC over UC Davis Gold, SJSU Gray over UH Impact, UH Premier over TAMU White, SJSU Gold over University of Oregon, TAMU Maroon over Colorado Boulder, SJSU Gray over USC. So those were the Wednesday matches that got us down to our final four, our semifinals, which were UH Premier versus SJSU Gold and TAMU Maroon over SJSU Gray. UH Premier in the semifinals did not stop their reign of terror. They won over SJSU Gold, and TAMU Maroon showed out against SJSU Gray. So unfortunate semifinal showing for SJSU, but the championship featured UH Premier versus TAMU Maroon, in which UH Premier took the dub in 2 games, best of 3 series. So 4 teams have qualified for UGC Battle Academy main event. These are Northwood, SJSU Blue, Kennesaw State University, and now our 4th member is UH Premier. So make sure to tune in next week to keep up with these UGC Battle Academy Winter Sagas to see where we go next. Thank you.
This week marked the end of the first split of CCL, and to close out the split, we had a lot of close games that ended up looking bad in one of the best games of the season so far. On Monday, number 24 Illinois State, Louisiana State, Minnesota State Mankato, California State San Bernardino, and CU Boulder all won their games with a score of either 3-0 or 3-1. But the game of the week was Oregon pulling off the upset in dramatic fashion with a reverse sweep after being down 2-0. However, Tuesday didn't bring the same heat, as every game was either a 3-0 or 3-1. The winners were number 15 Barry University, NC Charlotte, number 10 Penn State, number 20 High Point, Minnesota St. Mankato, and Rowan University.
This week, in the collegiate Overwatch scene, we have 2 tournaments to cover. Starting out, we had Round 5 of Nascar League's Overwatch tournament completing this week, and since we're about halfway through the regular season matches, let's check in on the current standings for each region. In the Northeast regions, we have Bay State and HU Storm leading. In the Midwest regions, we have Northwood and Redbird eSports. In the Southeast regions, we have USF Gold and Converse eSports. And in the South, we have UTD eSports. And in the West, we have Boise State University. There's a lot of familiar names that leading the charge for their regions on this list, and that's kind of expected, but there's still plenty of time for all the other teams to close the gap, so the race for playoffs is certainly not over yet. In other news, the Overwatch Collegiate Championship Series has started. Over the weekend, the Swiss stage began, with each team playing 2 matches. The tournament has just begun, but the race to be one of the top 32 teams from each region is on. Some of the teams leading the top 32 in the East include HU Storm, Bay State, Northwood, the St. Clair Saints, Miami Redhawks, and RIT Esports. And then in the West, we have Redbird Esports, Braves Esports, CU Boulder, Maryville University, UNLV, and Boise State University. Again, a lot of familiar names, but the season has just started. Make sure to watch out on your school's Twitch channel for when those matches go live.
Thanks, guys. And that was our infamous preview review. Coming up next, we are going to be talking about the new NC State Esports Arena coming up after this. Hello for the last time this week of Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Brothers is here. Erica Sadora is there. Vanessa Alves Johnson's right over there. And we're going to be talking about a new esports arena, which a lot of them pop up every now and again, but this one seems to be a little special. So Vanessa, what do we need to know?
Yes, this is really big in terms of developments for collegiate esports because this is expected to be the biggest esports arena for college in the nation. So NC State, they got $16 million to go towards a building of an esports arena facility. But what's cool, it's actually going to be divided into 2 different programs and 2 different facilities. So 12 million is going to go to actually just an esports arena, one on campus that's going to be held for tournaments, everything on campus wise, and the other 4 million is going to go to a mobile arena that's going to allow for them to do off-campus activities, travel around the state, all that good stuff. So it's going to be exciting that it's actually 2 programs just instead of 1. And apparently, North Carolina really does want to encourage esports participation. They passed this esports industry grant fund to encourage more companies to sponsor any like collegiate esports related events too. So I think that this with the arena too is going to really increase collegiate esports participation, especially in that Raleigh or like area. A little bit of information about North Carolina's team just in general. So they actually participate in 8 collegiate esports. One of those is Rainbow Six, and their Rainbow Six team is #1 in the nation. So I know that they're very excited for this because they're going to be like, yay, great arena. So they have 150 plus players that are active right now and over 1,500 active members in their Discord too. So they have a very good program and a very big program. So I'm sure that they're very excited for this. And one really cool thing that's going to be more on the educational side, it's going to have opportunities for people that are majors in game dev and computer science to work on more of the technological aspects of the arena, and hospitality majors get to help host esports related events on campus. So this is going to be really cool for just like the gaming aspect of it, but also for like the university and college side of it too. So they're going to be looking for different regions and areas to put the arena in. And they're expected to build it by about 2024, but they're going to open a pilot arena to kind of gauge student interest in general. But it's really exciting because $16 million going towards an esports facility is huge. So I'm sure they're excited, and I'm excited for it too.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. There's a lot of interesting things to unpack there, actually, because I mean, like the amount of money to begin with, like that's a huge commitment. You see, even Ruby's like, they did that. That's a huge commitment for a school for a facility. But kind of the bigger thing to me is the mobile arena. I've never heard of a mobile arena, and so that kind of seems like the next logical step for arena, because like there's been a whole conversation about like, oh, now there's this esports facility and there's this esports facility. Like you're not real unless you have an esports facility. Like that seems kind of be like a vibe almost from a lot of programs. But for mobile, that's the next step where it's like, oh, so we're going to be off campus, and so now here's where we're going to set up for people to watch us. That's incredible. And also the fact that a Rainbow Six team would be like the most watched team in that arena, I also adore. And like we're talking about Raleigh, however you pronounce it, and like that's just where Halo happened. So it's a very interesting part of the U.S. for esports right now. So I cannot wait to see how that develops further. And thank you for that, Vanessa. But with that is our show. We hope that you enjoyed this week. For more, check out our stuff on checkpointxp.com, and remember that we always and forever love you very much. You guys have a great week.